Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers. Now, I pulled over at this hiking trail on my way back from San Diego Metro's video, so I'm basically completely done with Southern California as far as the Inland Empire, San Diego, and Orange County. But I did pull over on my way back to my hotel because I just reviewed the Redfin report, the weekly report. So today's video is going to be on the trajectory of the trends and really try to figure out why the trends are doing what they're doing. Before I continue, for walking down this trail in my suit clothes, I'm sweating like an animal right now. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, shoot me a comment below. But either way, let me start by telling you why I believe we're seeing some alarming trends, right? Or the trajectory of the trends not necessarily being favorable. And what I mean by that is inventory has gone down a little bit, demand has gone up a little bit. So two reasons really. The first reason is I think what we saw is all of the buyers that were on the sidelines over the last 6 months kind of freak out and lose it. So again, reason number one, all of the pin-up buyers staying on the sideline, getting frustrated, not having the patience necessary, flooded back into the market. Now, number two, emotion that's based on interest rates. And if we really look at it, the interest rates really didn't go down that much. If we compare payments from 7%, which is what they peaked at, to right now, which is about 6.5%, if we take $250,000 loan, the difference in payment from 7% to 6.5% is $48. So, do I think that because of the lowered interest rates, people are just going to run back into the market? Absolutely not, because mortgage payments are about $1,000 higher than they were about 2 years ago. So the unaffordability is still here. Although we've seen pretty decent price decline in many metro areas, it still has not declined enough to make things affordable. And also what we're learning is quite frankly, y'all, and you know this, cannot trust industry professionals to be honest with us about the potential risk of home buying. And why is that? Their job is not to warn you of risk. Their job is to sell houses, and they make a lot of money doing it. So they don't even have the ability to properly warn us. At least that's what I'm saying. Now, the name of this Redfin article is Housing Market Update. Spring home buying season kicks out with steady demand, but lack of listings holds back sales. To me, this article screams of unrealistic optimism, right? And reckless enthusiasm. Look at this view. Do y'all see why I pulled over right here? Do y'all see why I pulled over right here? I mean, this is why California is so expensive. At least one reason why California is so expensive. I mean, this is absolutely beautiful. There's actually a trail right there that goes all the way down to the beach, but I am not gonna go there because it's really hard to even walk down there. It's just, but this area in itself, this is a San Onofre area. This area is absolutely enchanting. If you're in this area, come to San Onofre and just walk down this path because it's quite frankly amazing. Home buying demand persisted as mortgage rates declined for the second week in a row after the Fed announced it only modestly hike interest rates, but limited supply is another barrier for buyers who are competing for the few homes on the market. Lowered interest rates, again, $250,000, that's a difference of $48 a month. So a lot of it is emotion, a lot of it is sentiment, and so far when I'm reading this article, it reminds me of a bunch of realtors that have no disregard for caution making it. At least that's my initial reaction when I read that first paragraph. Let's move on to another one. We're not seeing the typical spring seasonal increase in business. There's no seasonality. Home buyers and sellers are hyper-focused on mortgage rate. If rates end the week down, all of a sudden buyers are out there making offers. If rates end the week high, buyers disappear. Again, you guys, going back to what I was trying to say, that's a difference of $48 on a $250,000 loan. It's not a big difference. It's all a bunch of emotion. It's all a bunch of like wishful thinking, over optimism. This is wild to me, but let's move on. But prospective buyers are struggling with tight supply, as sellers are typically slower to return than buyers. New listings of U.S. homes for sale fell 22% from a year earlier during the 4 weeks ending March 19th. One of the biggest declines since the housing market nearly ground to a halt at the beginning of the pandemic. Many would-be sellers are reluctant because they want to hang on to low mortgage rate, and nearly all homeowners have a rate under 6%, and because they're also buyers struggling with low inventory, so a move-up buyer. Let's read another part of this. There are plenty of serious buyers out there, but there's not enough inventory. Anything that comes on the market at a decent price in a desirable location is getting multiple offers. The best strategy right now is to be aware of every home that's coming on the market soon and be the first to see it. So again, the way I'm reading this, and this really gets me frustrated, is it appears they're right back into stirring the pot, adding to the fear of missing out. And I hope we're starting to realize by now how emotional things actually are. But they're suggesting people run out, be the first person to look at the house. What that's gonna do is create bidding wars. It's gonna create fear of missing out. They're not saying, look at equity, look at wedge, look at rent range, look at cash flow, look at things like that to eliminate and reduce your risk in such an uncertain market. I mean, whatever side of the coin you're on, we can pretty much all agree that there is an overwhelming amount of dust that needs to settle in the housing market. So this whole rush back of buyers, the rates are lowering. It drives me crazy because we're still 4% higher than we were when all of this started. A 4% change in interest rate? It's wicked, you guys, it's wicked. Who cares about the $48 a month change? I mean, do y'all really care about that? But let me pull up some charts right now. All right, I'm gonna set this camera down because my arms and shoulders are absolutely killing me, you guys. This rig is no joke. So let's start at median sales price. Now, as you can see, median sales price is down year over year. 1.7%. Y'all, that is not normal. That is not seasonal. That is a red flag. That is the data and the trends and the trajectory telling us the reality of what's going on. Despite demand, despite supply, what's happening right now is unaffordability. Unaffordability is the king right now. The demand is still there, right? The demand is still there, but the unaffordability is stronger. Now let me move on and let me show you guys home buying mortgage payments. So right now we could see it appears it's only up 19%, but that's year over year. If we measure where mortgage payments are right now compared to where we were in 2020, it's almost double. I mean, it's not double, but it's almost double. It's $1,000 more. So the average mortgage payment right now is $1,000 more. So again, I ask you, who cares about a $48 difference in payment? We're $1,000 higher. Don't ignore the fact. Now let's look at inventory, and this is what we don't want to see. Now, looking at months of supply, it did go down only slightly. You can see the trajectory leveling off, which is good. And more than likely it will go up because we're going into stronger and stronger listing months. But right now we're at 2.9 months, and that is down slightly week over week. Obviously, we want that to reverse the trajectory. We want it to go straight up. And again, and that is exactly what I believe is going to happen. I'm almost positive of that because these buyers, whoever's able to afford the prices right now, it's not going to last. It's breaking fundamentals. All of the equity growth, the payment fluctuations are not keeping up with the principles. How is it that so few people actually can see this? I think it's mainstream media. I think it's the narrative. I think that people are just spinning lies. And unfortunately, and I'll use the snowball. Let me use the snowball analogy again. A housing market's slow. It's like a snowball that's building momentum. It's getting bigger in size. And the sad part about this is most people will refuse to turn around and look at the snowball coming for them. Most people can only learn when the snowball hits them. Unfortunately, they have to feel the cold, the pain, the impact, and when that happens, that's when people actually start to learn. That's a systematic failure in my opinion, right? I mean, again, caution, right? Let dust settle. Let me show you guys another graph. Taking a look at listings that had price cuts, we actually went up week over week to 4.8%. So it's telling us right there that sellers, although I know they're frustrated, are starting to have to lower their prices in order to match affordability, right? But it's still way out of control because there's still buyers that are willing to pay absolutely crazy prices. But again, I have to tell you this, all right? This is shockingly similar to 2008, shockingly similar to 2008. And now that I've done these metro reports, going to San Diego, Orange County, Riverside, I'm absolutely convinced that in most areas, in many areas, the price collapse, the price crash is going to be worse than 2008. There's so many things that people are unaware of right now that have not happened yet. And I just did a report a few days ago on the amount of people that are the amount of work from home employees right now. I'm watching that because it appears there's an actual work from home bubble that's about to collapse and is actually already collapsing, because a lot of the work from home jobs was in the tech sector. And I'm hearing more and more stories of people that were working from home that are being called back into the office that have to sell their house for a loss or quit their job. You know, but when all is said and done, y'all have to make up your own minds. It's a massive investment. Now, I know I'm sharing with you my opinion. It is just my opinion. There are many different reasons to buy, so I don't want to knock you if you have to buy for some reason. My point is, if you're on the sideline, do the best you can to continue to stay on the sideline, because all I'm saying right now is there's a bunch of webs being spun. It's a bunch of narratives that are being used to continue to profit big companies. I think you're starting to see that. The lack of accountability, the lack of transparency, and the lack of care for the quality of your investment. So in other words, I know this is my opinion and I'm sharing it with you for various reasons. I'm explaining why, but you have to form your own opinion. And I hope that I can provide you enough data to where you can confidently formulate your opinion. Other than that, I'm gonna head back to the hotel and start my editing. And I really appreciate you guys following along with me on this journey. And if you're out there investing in real estate, you know I wish you luck and I hope you win.